Well, hello everybody.
Hello,
Hey, what's good?
we
welcome.
uh we made it.
It just
Better
reminds me
late than
then.
never, they say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We just had a few technical hitches there. My end, I would add. Um, I'm just drinking out of a red glass, believe it or not, and it's the same glass. And I don't know if Crypto Casino remembers this because I see he's in the house. But we were doing Axiom Friday once, and I took a gulp out of this glass. And I kind of half forgot that it was apple cider vinegar. And so my throat was literally choked up and I couldn't hardly speak, but this is water.
Well, now you know what whiskey's like.
So, how are you doing, James?
Oh, good. How are you, man? I'm excited to be here. Glad that we're able to take some time to get caught up and get this little presentation together. Been a work in the making.
Excellent. And is that an Axiom cap you've got on your head?
No, not yet, but it's an ally. Does it say allies?
It does, yeah. There'll be an update about that a bit later. And Dead Poet, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. I'm on, I just, like you guys know, I've just moved to a new place. So it's been busy, with the new house and stuff. But it also means, new year, new vision. So
Yeah.
pretty stoked to what we have in store for Ixion.
So, is it true? Tell me. I think most people know where you live. I won't tell anybody, but is it true that you've moved out of a nice apartment and now you're living on a park bench?
More like a Faraday cage, actually.
Faraday cage. He's
A little
in a
corned beef tin, yeah.
he's in a high-rise apartment in the sky.
Excellent. Well, we've got some people who are posting comments there. We've got Shane Walker, Crypto Casino, Arabella, Natsarim, whose name is
That's
actually, I'm
Rinju.
going to dox him, Joel. He was on Axiom Friday last week. That's Surim.
Yo.
Hi, Joel. Um, and Axiom Official. Thank you, Axiom Official. You're always faithful. Join us. So please do post your comments there. It helps the algorithms and so forth. And don't forget to subscribe and like so that all helps with visibility as well. Well, today, what is today about? Well, today is just really a recap on where we've been last year and just a realignment or a readjustment or looking back over the 5 year plan, reassessing that. Obviously, we have to deal with market conditions with these things as well. So you'll have some information about that. So we're just looking back, a bit of a review on last year, and then a little bit of a look, a glimpse into where we are now and where we're going in the future. So first up, I'd like to invite James to just begin our presentation. So James, over to you.
Yeah, so great to be here, guys. Looking forward to kind of recapping 2022, talking about 2023. And, I struggled with this a little bit. I was sharing this with the guys. Um, a lot of what we're going to be talking about is stuff that we know, especially if you've been to Axion Fridays, because you've probably heard some of these leaks over and over and over again. Um, but finally kind of bringing a few things to fruition where we can actually start moving forward with them and getting them out there and really kind of leveraging them. But 2022 was, in a lot of respects, as far as I'm concerned, it was a lot better of a year than most projects can really say for themselves. um, it really was a testimony to the strength of our community, and to the capacity we have as a project to overcome obstacles and to accomplish things in spite of difficult conditions. Um, so I know I'm really proud of that, and I think I can speak for everybody here that we're quite proud of that, and I know a lot of our community members are proud of that. Um, and so a lot of what you're going to hear is not going to necessarily be new news. Like I said, especially if you've been to Axiom Fridays, but we're really kind of gearing this towards those who are going to be looking at Axion in 2023. And we want to have something that's fresh, relevant, current, that really speaks to the heart of our ecosystem and helps us to reach that a greater audience. So we'll be talking about our 5-year plan, which we rolled out last year. Updates to that, and then a lot of the milestones that we've accomplished.
Yeah, thanks, James. In fact, what James covered was actually what the core team felt as well. But for us, what was firm and important was that we keep true to the 5-year master plan. But being true to the master plan also means that it does not mean that this is it, this is the blueprint, and this is the only way to go. So as core team, and this is where we get community feedbacks, and also feedbacks from our partners as well, to see if there are certain tweaks that we wanted to do. As you can see, for 2022, we spoke about trying to launch more projects via Action Launch. We wanted to execute the Action Studios and also look into the DeFi 3.0 as well. But all of that proved to be very challenging for us, and this is where the team actually decided to actually focus on other type of activities. James, do you mind moving on to the next slide? So just to give an insight on our thought process on why we did not want to proceed with some of the items over here, like for example the Action Launch. One of the reasons is that we found that obviously there were still projects that was wanting to launch together with us. We were getting a lot of inquiries from projects and stuff. However, one of the biggest challenges with these projects, some of them, is that they do not have sufficient backings from relevant organizations. Like for example, either a VC backing or number two, having at least built a community around the project itself. So with that, for us, we felt that it was our due diligence to not to take on those projects, and instead what we wanted to do was to actually look into building a launch alliance, which James will actually be sharing more in details later on in the slides as well. We were looking also into the Action Studios as well. As you guys know, in April last year, the NFT scene took a change in the model. From a model where users can pay to mint NFTs. The market actually took on a free mint model where users don't have to pay anything. So because of that, it was not possible for us to actually raise funds to actually execute Action Studios. And this is where the team decided, okay, if that's the case, shall we postpone the Action Studios for the time being and look into trying to gather new revenue models to actually raise funds rather than using the NFT approach, and DeFi 3.0 was also another thing that we were looking at last year. And then another challenge came, and that was the idea of that most decentralized exchanges, DEXs, they can't support sell taxes. So the idea here is, if you want to continue to have new staking farms, new yield farming farms over on third-party, partners' websites and stuff, we won't be able to do that if we were to have taxes. And as a team, we actually weigh the pros and cons, and we realize that okay, maybe DeFi 3.0 is not something that we can execute now. Probably it's something that we can look in the future when DEXs are actually equipped to actually handle the sell taxes. So yeah, so we'll go into details later on. Maybe what I'll do is I'll hand it over back to Andy. Andy can probably recap on the statistics for 2022.
Yeah, thank you, DP. So as you heard from DP there, we have to react to market conditions as well. So that is going to have a bearing on things as well. But we are pressing on, which was our kind of goal. Really was to do all we could in the bear market and not just hibernate away. Like a little hedgehog or a bear in the US or wherever. We get little hedgehogs, but you get bears over there. So the intention was to just not just stay afloat, but try and do all we can to to make Axion as successful as possible once we come out of this bear market. So in a review of the statistics there, now we keep we used to, without trying to lose anyone, but we used to, our statistics were just totals that were based on APIs. So the totals were just automatically put into text files. And so we didn't have historical data. But Pullen, before he left really, or took his gardening leave or whatever, he started to work out a better way of managing that so that we could capture historical data. So from April of last year, we started to collect historical data. And so that's going to prove useful now as we go forward in analyzing statistics and so forth. So they now are kept in a MySQL database, and we can use those to see trends and stuff, so forth. So in terms of the total supply, you see there is 34 billion. Hang about, let me just, I can't actually see that screen too well there. There we are, it's better. Yeah, so the total token stake, 249 billion, which is 74% of the supply there. 90 billion is in liquid, and you can see there 49% is staked for 5555. 17,000 holders holding at least one Axion, and 46 billion Axion total burnt. So as of the moment, 167 billion Axion staked max, 49% of the supply at max staking, and at 21st of the 1st, a value of 1.2 million Axion locked away for the next 15 years. And I think that's important because potential people who are interested in launching with us or so forth, or partnerships, they see that we have investors who have put away a lot of money for 15 years in crypto, which is really, it's unheard of, isn't it? And so they see that as an asset, really, that we are a community that is here to stay. And so that is favorable for Axion when we deal with partnerships and so forth. Next slide, please. Right, so I just wanted to bring some comparisons there. As I mentioned, we only have historical data from April 2022. But I just thought I'd compare that with January 2023 as of when I did these reports. And you can see there, so the blue bars are literally last year from April. And there's the comparison then with January in the yellow gold bar, 23. So last year we had 257 billion total staked. This year we have 255 billion. The total supply was 336. It's gone up 7 billion to 343. Last year, the circulating supply was 80 billion. It's gone up 9 billion to 89. And obviously the burn-in stats have gone from 40 to 51. So these figures are rounded up, but there's about 10 billion really of Axion that has been burnt in between. And so really to think about it in this way, we are in a bear market, and those stats are not too bad really for those things. And as you can see from the burn stats, we continue to burn progressively, and that is really helping control inflation. And those of you that were around, I don't know, a couple of years back would have known really our inflation would have gone through the ceiling by now. But the burning mechanism has been set in place, and that really is helping for inflation. Now, on the inflation differences, well, could only calculate that really from the historical data from April. So we set off in April. Then in May, you can see it was 0.08%, and then gradually through the year. And this final column on the right is the total inflation. So the combined inflation, and that's for a 9-month period, and that is 2.22%. So you can see really we've almost going to touch a year soon, and we can see really that we've got inflation around about 3%, which is well controllable and well manageable. And in the future as well, we'll have other mechanisms to kind of reduce that as well. So all in all, not too bad on inflation and those stats. Next slide, please. Over to who's taking this one.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, I think you made a comment that kind of really stood out to me, and what's really kind of stood out as I've talked with other projects, and that is our staking stats are probably one of the most attractive things and one of the most bullish things our ecosystem has to offer. The fact that we have we've got 17.2 thousand. Those are wallets with liquid. And I think once we combine our liquid and our staked, there's a lot of people that have staked Axiom that don't have any liquid. So we're closer to the 22, 23,000 range when it comes to actual wallets or holders. And as I talk to other projects, this is something that is extremely attractive. It really draws people to want to kind of understand the mindset of our community, and we do have we have a community that understands long-term investment and long-term holding. Looking to the future, not just trying to make a dollar today, but looking at, taking our assets, taking our wealth and putting it to work over time. So, and that really kind of feeds into some of these milestones that we've accomplished. And if any of you have seen some of that, we've been putting this out now, but we really want to kind of, this is something we really want to promote. And this is something as community members, this is something really to be stoked about, to be proud about, to be excited about. Our project's 2 years old, and we're still thriving. And while we might be down as far as token value, or depressed in community engagement just because of the bear market in general, overall, we still have a very vibrant, very valuable, and very relevant community of token holders. So as we see things start to pick up in this, once we hit the bull market, I've got my finger on May. Once we kick into a more bullish market, these things are really going to come to play to bring that value and help us leverage. So most of these stats that we're talking about here on the milestones, Andy's covered. A couple of them that are really significant are the fact that we took our core contract, our token contract is now immutable. It cannot be upgraded, can't be changed. We can't add taxes. We can't push any major changes to the way our ecosystem works. And that's something that was really important to the team as we were coming into the close of 2022 and our anniversary, our 2-year anniversary, was to establish a more secure and finite system for our tokenomics. And of course, we added the max mint. And a lot of these things we're going to be mentioning more than once, but these are those bullet points, if you will, that we as community members, as we're engaged in other communities, as we're tweeting, as we're talking to friends, these are all aspects of our ecosystem that truly set us apart from 80 to 90% of other projects out there. One of the things that we were really excited and proud of is our alliance with ApeSwap. We're listed on that DEX. You don't have to import the token anymore to trade Axion. And the fact that Axion starts with an A, we're at the very top of that list. So we launched our Jungle Farm, which was extremely successful, and we still have the Treasury bill, which I think the discount on that's hitting 13% right now. So I think I'm about ready to dig into it again. There were some hiccups in that process, partly because of the tax that we had, but we overcame that. But there's been some other hiccups with that the way that the Treasury bill was put out, there was a little miscommunication there, which is why it's taken so long for the entirety of that Treasury bill to be purchased. But at the same time, it's given us a lot more stability and sustainability in how the Treasury bill is working and how it's contributing to our liquidity. And we do hope in the next month or two, as soon as this Treasury bill has completely been exhausted, we are going to be looking at a new Treasury bill that will have a much lower sell length. And so there will be a lot more available in a shorter period of time. Another thing that we accomplished in 2022 was we got our Galaxy stakes. We got them up and running. And so now users are able to take that stake, whether it's a 1-year stake, a 5-year stake, a 30-day stake, a 15-year stake, and you can convert that into an NFT. And at any point in time, should you want to move that stake or sell your stake, you'll be able to do that through OpenSea. And we are still working on our asset manager to ensure that if you're moving your stake from one owned address to a secondary owned address, you'll be able to do that without any penalties or fees or anything. So we're still working on that. But very excited to finally have that available. And then, of course, we've got our Phoenix NFT, and we're going to be matching that now with our Stacker NFT. We'll talk about that a little bit in just a little bit. But with the Phoenix NFT, you're able to, depending on your initial investments in the accelerator, we'll determine whether you get a standard NFT, a silver, or a gold NFT, which will give you future discounts on your stakes. And those will now extend beyond the August or the February 22nd date. We are looking through the stacker to be able to continue to pair that up with the Diamond NFT. And so the Phoenix was born from our summer stakes program, but we recently reinitiated that, and there are now a finite amount of both the Phoenix, the silver, and the gold NFTs. And there'll be information. There's information on that in our knowledge base, which we'll be covering here in a little bit. So with that, maybe Andy can talk a little bit about summer stakes and where we're at with a few things on that.
Thank you, James.
Andy's radio. Hey, 15 seconds or we'll get banned.
Just the intro. you go. A little bit into some mistakes. Yeah, so we had some summer madness, and we had some prizes and some Phoenix NFTs, and just a little bit of encouragement, really, to keep things together in action, get our people kind of enthused about stuff, and hopefully, it was the idea to try and obviously support the token a bit better through difficult times, and yeah, I think we achieved part of that, which is quite good in a difficult market. But these were the prizes that we actually gave away, and the second and third prize, I think it was, had to be redrawn. So we had two winners actually that didn't come forward after about 5 or 6 weeks, and so we had to redraw, and then the prizes went. But all of those winners are happy with their winnings, so that's good. And we also have Axion baseball caps that are about to drop. And so I know that many of you have actually qualified for a baseball cap. So they will be coming soon. We are having some issues, which James will mention a little bit later with the store. But they will be coming soon. So, and we've got your names and addresses. You can see on the bottom of that slide there, 50 runners up receive Axion baseball caps. So there is a little short URL there. If you want to use that URL, if you haven't already recorded the fact that you are a qualifying stakeholder, and don't be like some people that have registered for the baseball cap without having made a stake or anything, and then I confront them and say, you don't qualify because you haven't made any stakes at all. I didn't know that you had to make a stake. So if you did make a stake at that period through some mistakes, then please do get in touch, because there are several that haven't actually come forward to claim their caps. So if you want to do that, then follow that link there. You can take a note of it. We'll post it in an announcement later on as well. And then just register the fact that you are a qualifying stakeholder, because we do cross-check these anyway. So, and then you will soon get a very adorable Axion cap. And that's it from some mistakes, I believe. So over to you.
So yeah, again, just kind of recapping 2022, some of the successes that we were able to achieve, and the accomplishments that we were able to enjoy. And as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we were able to set our core contract as immutable. We called that locked and loaded. We introduced a max mint to the accelerator. So we have a soft supply cap now that is, I believe, coming in around 425 to 430 billion once the accelerator reaches end of life, which we anticipate is still a good year from now. We also rolled out the banker contract, which manages the different allocations, distributions through the accelerator, and we set our final distributions in the accelerator. So we know that Bitcoin rewards through the accelerator will never be touched again. We know that we're building our treasury and our foundry, and supporting the ecosystem through the accelerator. And then as we develop other revenue streams, we'll continue to support all of those aspects of our ecosystem. Which brings us, drum roll, to 2023.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. I wanted to say that when we launched. Happy New Year. It almost feels like that was like 3 months ago, but it was but 4 weeks ago.
It's crazy. 25 days.
So yeah. 2023.
Okay, so we'll be So again, 2023 is going to be an interesting, part of the milestone for the 5-year plan. Again, some of the changes that we made for 2022 will be adopted in 2023. But as a like a just a generic overview of 2023, 2023 is really about rewarding you guys, rewarding the Axion status, and again, one of the things that we always ask ourselves as core members: how can we make Axion to be the world's best staking ecosystem? And the only way we can do that is actually, to be honest, by introducing new stake models, new products that circles around staking itself. So 2023 is going to be about that. In fact, I think we'll probably be starting to launch a couple of stuff which is currently in development, and we'll be announcing it shortly within the first quarter of this year. We are also expanding the NFT ecosystem as well to include additional utility for stakers. This is, and again, I see that a couple of you guys are already asking, staker NFT soon by Arabella and Aaron. Yes, so staker NFT is also is one of the things that will be covered by us over in 2023 as well. So do expect that to be launched very soon, even sooner than you guys be thinking. And again, there is no community, a Web3 community, without new partnerships. And this is where James later on will be touching a little bit on some of the things that we are doing, and some of the events that he'll be attending as well. We'll leave it to James to share on that. Next slide, please. So this is the revised 5-year master plan. As you can see, in 2022, instead of actually trying to define new revenue models, what we did was we did a rehaul of the whole core contracts to make it immutable. So that's one of the major changes, for the plans for 2022. And then we also introduced new strategic partnerships, which was really being covered by James and Andy as well. So for 2023, what are we doing? So this is where we are still keeping it on track. The idea here is we want to start to really integrate with other protocols, other projects, and then include their staking mechanisms onto our platform. So this means new staking models, new utility NFTs, new yield farming pools, new revenue models. Oh, I see. There's a duplicate that new utility NFT. So that's going to be the focus for 2023. So maybe we can move on to the next slide. Just to share about some of the things that we are working on. We are working on a couple of items here. Axion bonds. We have also the Axion Members Club. So these two the items over here are part of the new product that we are actually trying to work on. Again, I think even as core team, when we come out with a new product, right, it's not just about trying to, okay, we have a great idea, let's just do this. When we execute a product, we have to go through phases. The first phase is, okay, we have a new idea. The second phase, okay, can we try to crash and burn this idea and make sure that it's foolproof, it's fireproof. And this is where we have all these conversations, when we include also some of our external members, such as the AAC, as well as some of the partner. I mean the how do you really
Advisor.
address? Yeah, advisors. To actually come in and okay, this is what we are looking to propose. What do you guys think of this? Can this work? Does this make sense? And this is where, whenever we talk about new products, we're not talking about the staking component. The staking component remains the same. You stake Axion, you get 8% returns. But now, how can we continue to reward additional rewards other than Bitcoin dividends? Are there other things that we can look at? So this is where Axion bonds is something that we are working on. Once we have something materialized, we'll probably share it to the community. Expect to have these probably by the end of Q1 or start of Q2. Axion Members Club as well as an activity for end of Q1, start of Q2. And then we also, at the same time, when we have all these new products, right, we we also have to look at new marketing campaigns. So right now, as you guys know, we have an ongoing campaign. And what is that, James? What's the current ongoing campaign that we have?
For
Zap a Zero campaign.
Oh, Zappa Zero. I'll touch a little bit on that. We are, I'll take, I'll go ahead and take over just a little bit here and take some ownership, if you will. We've been talking about Zappa Zero now for a good 3 weeks. One of the things that, as we were getting ready to do that, and we didn't have our knowledge base up to a nice, crisp, professional level. And, we had the launch alliance that we wanted to get up to where it was professional and presentable and viable. And so in a lot of respects, Zappa Zero had to, kind of take a little bit of a back seat, because what we didn't want to do is attract all this attention through this awesome program, through the Twitter Spaces, attending Twitter Spaces en masse, and hosting some Twitter Spaces. Only to have people come visit and not have up-to-date, relevant, crisp, professional looking material. So both Fisto and I kind of dug our heels in, and we really went to town on our knowledge base. In fact, let me see if I can easily pull this up. Does that work? Yep. So now support.axion.network, our knowledge base is up and running. There are a few things in here that we're adding to this. So it will be an organic process as we update our contracts, and when I say update our contracts, I mean the information regarding our contracts. We have, in fact, I can click over here. See, where is it? Daffy moved it.
Yeah, there's the contract.
Okay, here we go. So this lists all the different contracts right now that make up the Axion ecosystem. So each of these are going to be articulated, but the knowledge base is really robust now, and it's respectable, and it's current, it's up to date. But we would also encourage anybody to read through this, and if anything looks out of place, if anything looks like, and because believe me, we spent massive hours in this and got to the point where both of us took a step back, and we've had other people looking at it. Dead Poet and Daffy's been combing through it. Andy's combed through it. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some things in there that might need to be either tightened up or removed. But for the most part, what used to be our knowledge base has been completely washed out and brought and integrated into this really nice process for disseminating this information. And that kind of brings me into with the Launch Alliance. So it was really important that we get the Launch Alliance to where we could start promoting it to other projects. We've been talking to other projects about it. We have a few projects. We have a couple projects that are already a part of it, and we have a couple that are probably within the next week or two. We hope to be making those announcements of those projects that are joining us. And so we are now in a position to, and I'm going to go over to that page here in a second. We are in a position to now really pursue these alliances. Anybody who's been in Axion long enough knows, and anybody that's been in crypto for that matter knows there are so many pitfalls. There's so many mistakes that can easily be made in DeFi. It's a very young, it's still in its infant stages. And so we want to take the lessons we've learned as an ecosystem. We want to bring in other alliance members who have overcome those issues as well. who've learned some of those hard lessons and have survived those hard lessons. We want to be able to create a launch alliance to where when we have projects that are coming to us to launch, that are looking to enter into DeFi, that they have a resource and connections with other projects that could help them stay away from making those same mistakes. I was recently a part of another project that was basically what happened to us when we launched 2 years ago happened to them. They made a series of mistakes that we didn't make, and they didn't survive it. And so we want to see, and it was a great project. They were a great team. They were a docs team. They had all the right intentions, all the right expectations, and yet they still fell victim to these problems that exist in DeFi. So through the Launch Alliance, we want to be able to bring projects together and create a safe haven where other projects can come and participate in a networking atmosphere where they can learn those things without having to experience those things. And so with that, if I can find it, we have, and this is now live. So this is live on our site. This is the Axion Launch Alliance page. We had two other projects in here. One of them, of course, many of you know that Matic News recently went through some staffing issues. We did talk to them recently, and they are hoping to overcome them themselves, but they had to kind of take a step back. And we've got another great project that we've been in talks with that we had put up here, but we haven't really finalized those talks. So we wanted to make sure that the information here is accurate. And so we are partnered through this process with Securitants, with ApeSwap, and we'll work on bringing other ones in. So if you go to the website and you go to the home page, and under home, you'll see the link to the Axion Launch Alliance page. And we have a nice form on here where projects, if you have a project that you know that team and you have worked with them, you can refer them to this page. They can apply to be a part of the Launch Alliance. And that will be a great way for us to connect with them and look at where they would fit in this alliance. And what's important to understand about the Launch Alliance is this is not exclusive. This is not an exclusive club. While we want to make sure that the projects that participate in the Launch Alliance are solid projects, we may have other projects become part of our Launch Alliance that also have launch pads. We see great value in partnering with other launch pads. We see great value in partnering with other DeFi DXs. We see great value in bringing other like-minded projects together. So there could be multiple projects that you would think in most situations would want to compete with each other, but we want to create an environment where we support each other. Because when this bull market comes back, there's going to be a very, very big demand for knowledge, for support, for assistance in the process of launching their projects. So we're excited about this. And we're also excited.
Drum roll.
Got to get the right tab up here. Okay. The Axion Lifestyle Store is open. While we encourage you to go check it out, we're not encouraging you to make a purchase yet, and let me explain why. So one of the last hurdles that we have is making sure that the international taxation of the products and services are managed appropriately on our site. So while you can actually go buy something right now, and I guess if you wanted to go buy something right now, you could buy it without taxes, but we'll have to end up paying the taxes. So we're waiting for our tax ID, and we expected it by now, but we didn't want the fact that we don't have our tax ID to prevent us from sharing the site with you. So it's shop.axion.network, and we're going to be doing some nice competitions, and we started to do a competition earlier for this, but we want the community to participate in the products and the different things that we have going on in the lifestyle store. And it is a lifestyle store. We want to have products that cover DeFi in general, and of course products that support the Axion brand. So let me see. I think I have to pull this one up. So yep, shop.axion.network. We got our official merch. There's 2 styles of hats that you're going to be able to choose from. And what we're going to be doing, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we're going to be doing is for everybody who has who earned a hat through that Summer Stakes product, who won a hat through the Summer Stakes, we're going to be sending you USDC. If you are in the United States, you can actually purchase products on our store using crypto. We can use it directly through the Coinbase.com or Coinbase app and the Crypto.com app. We're also looking to add BitPay, which should add being able to buy products on our site with crypto internationally. So right, and we set it for USDC. We can set it for pretty much any crypto we want, but we're just gonna, because we're paired with USDC, because our accelerator uses USDC. We love USDC. It's stable, it's reliable, and we don't have to worry about any price fluctuations when it comes to pricing our products. So right now you could actually go buy your hat, buy a shirt using USDC if you're in the United States, or otherwise you can use the currency of your country in the store. So quite excited that we've got the Axion lifestyle store up and running. And so and I think I actually skipped something. So with the Launch Alliance, one of the things I'm going to be, and I'm at 98%. In April, there's a big convention in Austin called Consensus by CoinDesk, and I'm going to be attending that and representing Axion. It'll be an opportunity to meet with several hundred projects will be attending. Several speakers, big in DeFi, will be attending, and if I'm able to make it, which, like I said, 98%, I'm there. I'll be doing broadcasts on Discord throughout the day as I meet with projects, as I go through the forums. And but we're going to really take this opportunity to meet face to face with other projects and build the Axion Launch Alliance. And we've got 10 minutes left to take questions. I think one of the last things I wanted to talk about, the core team has also gone through a lot of changes in 2022. And those that are here today, myself, Andy, Daffy, Deadfoot, we are the Axion core team now. McMarty stepped down back in November, was it? I think November. some guy, green guy, has moved on to another project. We still have Jubbin as one of our advisors, and he's been invaluable as an advisor. He's been very supportive of the project. We still have Deli. We love Deli. Deli's, in fact, many of you know that we were having some significant issues with our UI for staking for the accelerator. We've managed to I think we worked out 98% of those bugs. There might be still a couple of things that we're kind of working through, but Deli's definitely put his head down and put his shoulder to the wheel and burned through a lot of things to help us get things working smoother, working better.
Yeah.
We still have Fisto. We still have Fix. And of course, Big Bear. He DM'd me a little earlier, so I know he's watching. It's great to have you here. Miss you, bro.
Crypto Casino and Superman.
Crypto Casino, Superman. Thank you. This is why you never, like, you go to the Grammys and you win an award. Don't try to thank everybody. You're always going to miss somebody, and they're going to be like,
Exactly.
anyway. So, but we're excited, and for the time being, this is the core team. As we move forward, as we're able to develop things, we will look at expanding the team, but those that are here couldn't be more dedicated, couldn't be more serious about making Axion what would you say in the EU, Andy? A bloody success?
A jolly good success. I think would probably be the one.
Good success.
But we've got a question here from Free Willy. If you want to take that, will some of the profits from the Axion Lifestyle Store be used to burn Axion?
Yeah.
Yep.
Through our revenue manager, there will always be a percentage of our revenue that will go to buy back and burn. There will always be a percentage that will go to our rewards, to our treasury, to the foundation. Those were covered in a previous presentation, and I believe once we have everything, once we have all the contracts outlined on the knowledge base, that's also going to be laid out pretty clearly in the knowledge base as well.
Yeah, excellent. If you want to post your questions, guys, then please do before we wrap things up here. So here's your opportunity. There's a lot covered this evening or this morning or this night or wherever you are. So
and with that, since we do have, so now we have the Launch Alliance page up and running. We have the knowledge base set. I'll be getting with Fix here in the next couple of days, and I'd like to, starting next week, we're going to start posting some of the Twitter spaces that we're going to be attending. We're going to be inviting people to participate in our Zappa Zero project, and I've got to bend Andy's ear a little bit, but I've got some ideas of some ways that we can get creative and have some prizes and incentives for folks that want to really participate in that Zappa Zero. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Excellent. So guys, any questions that you'd like to, here we go. There's a question. What is the highest discount percentage on ApeSwap treasury bills?
I think it's at 13% right now.
And I think it was 15 earlier on, wasn't it?
Was it?
Didn't you say? It was
13.84.
13.84, look, which is a bargain. Absolute bargain there.
And right now, about a third of that supply is available. So there's 281 million of the remaining Axion that can be purchased at that 13%, almost 14% discount.
Absolute bargain.
Which it might not be there tomorrow. No.
Okay, then we've got Shane. There is power in Twitter Spaces. Can't wait to expand our reach. Thank you, Shane, and we appreciate your work that you do in social. So keep on plugging away there, mate. You're doing great, and one day you'll get that new lawnmower. You will get it. There will be a competition for a
There's
lawnmower.
got to be a lawnmower T-shirt.
There'll be a competition to win a lawnmower. Excellent. Okay, guys, maybe another one or two more questions, and then we'll wrap this up for this evening. If you've got them, if you haven't, I'm just going to play some music. As long as with everything else that's going on as well, and everything else that's been explained, Dead Poet, we know that you are. Perhaps some people don't see you so much because we see you in core chat and stuff and the core channels, but some people don't see you around so often. But you're a very, very busy man, and you have an unusual sleep pattern, which is do you just want to share that with some of the people, because I don't think everyone knows it.
Yeah, so right now I'm back to doing I call it the I can't remember what's the term that I use. So what I do is I take 4 hour naps or 4 hour pockets of 4 hours of sleep, and break it between up to like 6 different times a day. So this is
Crazy. He does sometimes fall asleep when we're in a chat or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm just adjusting back to the new schedule as well. At the same time as well, working around my day job as well. So yeah, man, it's not easy, but still there. To me, it's what is important here that we achieve those milestones. That we have set ourselves to achieve. I think that's the key information here. Other than that, you can and yeah, this is not medical advice. Please do not follow my sleep pattern.
We've got another question here. Thank you, Dead Poet. Update on NFT Galaxy stake listing. I presume you mean the stackers.
No, I think he is talking about the Galaxy stake.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure.
That's fake news, Shane. In case you guys are wondering, it's fake news.
No, it isn't. It's probably true.
He fell asleep in a meeting once.
And he has to do that. Well, he doesn't have to do that, but he does that because he loves Axiom so much. Because we're all in different time zones, and he wakes up at unusual hours just so that he can get into conversations and voice chats with us. So the guy puts in a lot of work, and we appreciate him, and pray that he's going to be a long part of Axiom success.
Yep, here to stay. Like what Pullen says. Action to 1 cent. So.
And Dead Poet, it's true, isn't it, that you've been able to bring in about 20 people into Axiom or something.
21, yes.
21.
21. Yeah,
Wow.
21 of close contacts and investors. So so I have a private group on Telegram as well. So this is where I share updates to them. I mean, basically updates that are also available for you guys. So don't think that it's an alpha group or something. Don't get excited or
Just
something.
a family chat on Telegram.
Exactly. And just to make sure that it's I clear whatever information. Andy is also part of the chat as well.
Yes.
So Andy also has visuals on whatever information that is posted on that chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on things. Otherwise, these guys go rogue, don't
they? True.
Okay, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up there for this evening then. Thank you very much for joining us. And there will be a post, James, regarding some of these details.
Yeah. I'll definitely be getting a few more Medium articles out and some updates. But yeah, we're super excited and looking forward to the next few months.
Yeah,
I think once we start to see this market turn around, we're going to really, and once we really kind of put these things into play that we're looking at, we'll be able to capitalize on the fact that this bear market, the opportunities that this bear market has afforded us. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Dead Poet, did you want to say a final few words before we clock off?
Yeah, just to remind again, even though the actual lifestyle store is up, I hope you guys don't make any purchases. Just give us a couple of days. I mean, we'd love to pay some taxes, but I'll prefer it if you guys.
Yeah,
take
we'll
on those.
definitely once we have the tax ID and everything in there, and we can see that it's working properly. Well, I was expecting it in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Normally the turnaround is 7 days, but I guess there's been an explosion of new applications at the beginning of the year, and they're running 13 to 15 days before it, and that's working. Of course, that's business days for issuing those. So once we get that inputted, we will definitely have an official announcement, posted announcement, that is. And at that, and in conjunction with that, we'll be sending out the USDC to all of the winners of the Axion hat, so you can go in and pick up your hat.
Excellent. And as well as we need to just add the another category for the lawnmowers, and then once that's done, you'll be able to go and buy yourself a nice new battery powered lawnmower. Yeah, eco-friendly and all. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us this evening. Keep abreast of any announcements that are in the channels. There's some exciting stuff coming up. Again, keep supporting the token. Crypto Casino, we love you, and we thank you for all the work that you're doing with YouTube and Superman. I don't think he's in here, but thank you, guys. And so just keep plugging away. We'll get through this bear market, and then we will start to see the gains that this token deserves. So thank you very much, guys. Good night from us all.
Guys.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Cheers.